Yes, people. Welcome back to Premier League Unpacked, episode 13, with my guy Tom in the cup, man. It's no other place to start than the fuckery at Arsenal Football Club, as the title states, Tom. Just want to get your perspective from an outside fan perspective, first of all, because I'm shocked, bro. Not gonna lie,
Uh,
man, shocked.
I mean, it seems crazy to start with me, bro. Like I've been waiting to hear your thoughts, as I'm sure many others have,
He
but I'm
can
sure
wait. He
you're just
can
taking
wait.
your time. Um, I didn't know what to expect, bro. I've still been reeling from that Real Madrid game, if I'm honest. So I'm already in that mind state of like, whatever you kind of thought would happen could just be thrown off this season, and the way you're seeing it going, there's a lot of ups and downs. Like a lot of it, you wouldn't have even really written it at the start of the season. Um, you know, so it's easy to see how an Arsenal could go to a Newcastle and they could win, or what happened to have happened. But I think the problem for Arsenal is the difference between that and say the City Real Madrid game is that Arsenal didn't. It wasn't like they played well and played their style of football, but just lost because you can lose football matches. They went there and were kind of outplayed, outfought, um, outwitted, and that obviously leaves a lot to be answered for. At the end of the day, you put yourself in that position, regardless of whether that was expected at the start of the season, regardless of whether people would have been glad with fifth if it had happened another way. It didn't. It happened this way, and this set of players had one hand on it and one opportunity to kind of make fourth theirs, and this is what happened. Um, obviously, you have still got one more game to play. I don't really think there's much chance of anything happening, but I said to you when I last spoke to you, I think the way that Arsenal perform in that last game will also be telling of where these players are at, where their heads at, how bad this kind of like winning streak, losing streak culture is. Because you could see a scenario where Tottenham could go and do something crazy and be like a goal down at Norwich at half time, and Arsenal not be capitalising on what they're doing at Everton. Like, you guys have to go into that game, score early, be up and ahead, and kind of like hope that a bit of that is starting to just filter through the airwaves. Maybe at Tottenham, maybe it's getting to 50, 60 minutes, it's still 0-0. Now there's a pressure situation because Arsenal have just come out early and done their job. But do you feel like this Arsenal team can do that against the Everton fighting for relegation? Never mind before we even get to talk about whether Norwich can do anything against Tottenham. I just don't even know if you trust the side to go and do that and get the job done at Everton.
No, I hear that, Tom. It's a fucking
One
joke,
thing
man.
you've
What's
said
going on?
consistently. One thing that I've heard you say a few times this season is Arsenal being consistently inconsistent. That's a thing I've heard you saying in particular, and it really has just rung true at the end of the end and latter end of the season.
Do you know
How are
what it
you
is with
feeling, man?
Tom? Like, it's hard because I'm disappointed because, like you said, we had one hand on it. You get me? Like I said, being in the Champions League isn't the be all and end all for Arsenal Football Club, but getting to that position that we are in now and giving it up so easily, bro, is fucking pathetic. And like I said on my interview on AFTV, the last time we was in the Champions League, bro, these men were sitting their GCSEs, bro. And if you deep the situation, it's 100% true, bro. And there's no experience through that whole squad, through the spine. There's no experience. In order to have a team that's winning, a team that gets over the line, you have to have an experienced spine, especially even if you are to have players to work off that. But at Arsenal, we fucked up in January. We thought we can cope with the players that we've got. We loaned out certain players that could have added some kind of depth to the squad that we got now. I'm not saying that they might be in the answers, but making a makeshift defense and all of that, bro. Yesterday, it looked like we had dumb and dumber in defense, bro. I'm telling you, we got a player in William Saliba, who's just won Young French Player of the Year in their league at centre back, and that's our player that we loaned out. These are all decisions that have come down to the manager's choice, giving players away, giving Aubameyang away, loaning players out. At the end of the day, in certain aspects, some of it I understand, but he's got to take accountability for this now. And the players have to stand up tall, Tom, because we got fucking annihilated by Newcastle. It wasn't like we've gone there and we stayed in the game and it looked like we were going to nick the game or win the game. We were getting fucking battered left, right, and centre, bro. Like, man was watching that game, clear seats as anything, bro. Yeah, you had a good view where I was sitting, and I'm telling you now, we were dreadful, bro. Them man weren't fit enough to put the shirt on. after getting pumped in by Spurs like that, yeah, you need a bounce back. All we got to do is look after our own shit, Tom. You get me? Win our next 2 games, and that's us in. And like I said, is the progression now has been halted massively because for me, like I've said to you before, if we don't get Champions League football, we've got to move on from this man and get somebody in that can build on what he has put into place in certain aspects. Because, like I said, is Unai Emery got the chop at 5th. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't good enough then. Why is it good enough now?
Yeah.
Only reason is it's because he won us an FA Cup in the bank. And that's why these men love him off. Regardless whether I want him to go, whether anybody else wants him to go, it's not going to happen, Tom. These men are going to keep him. These men are going to keep him because they just give him a new contract before the season's even out, which was a fuckery. I even mentioned it before. They should have waited. And then if you got top 4, rewarded it. If not, fuck off. See you later. You know what I mean? Who are you going to get? I'd go in and try to get Roberto Mancini, someone who's won the Premier League before, someone who's just won the fucking Euros with Italy, yeah? And I'd go for him because he's someone of experience, someone that can actually manage players, manage egos, bring in top quality. I'd want a change. You get me? Obviously,
And
I
you
don't
don't
know.
think that's going to happen?
No, it's never going to happen, Tom. Realistically, yeah, when you actually deep the situation, it's not going to happen, innit? Like, these men are used to having somebody that's comfortable, having somebody there running the club in a sense of getting rid of players with big wages and fucking. At the end of the day, it's benefiting the owners, Arteta being there. You get me? He's getting rid of the Aubameyangs, the Ozils that are holding massive wages. He's bringing this younger squad through where you more or less have to be a yes man in a certain sense, and egos out of the door. It's all down to him, but it all benefits the club in the long run because the owners don't give a fuck anyway. But we got no one to blame, Tom. At the end of the day, yeah, it's down to us. We fucked up, and everything that Arsenal fans and players and everything get is very deserved because at the end of the day, bro, they let us down. The players let us down. They knew exactly what they had to do, and they fucked it royally, bro. Fucked it. I'm telling you.
Do you feel like sometimes clubs that like go dangerously thin with the squad at kind of peak points in the season always almost seem to get like punished with more injuries? Because Arsenal have kind of, in a way, in a certain perspective, been unlucky with the amount of injuries they've had to key players at this key point in the season, regardless of how deep their squad was. Do you know what I mean? They've had a lot of people go down. And that's another question that I started asking myself is like, Arsenal have been hit with a lot of injuries this season, regardless of clearing out. So is there something else? What's going on there in terms of how the training, in terms of prevention, or is it just misfortune?
Got one game a week, Tom. One fucking game a week, bro.
Yeah.
Like, how can
injured.
man get burnt out and injured one game a week? It makes no sense. All of that is just excuses. The bottom line of it is we're not good enough. We ain't been good enough for years. And you know what?
Yeah.
I did have a little bit of optimism because with 5 games to go, realistically, we could have got that Champions League spot. And that is, as like I said, that's as realistic as it gets, bro. But then this club just know how to kick you in the gut time and time again, bro. They just know how to. I swear to God, bro, these man send me insane. And it's probably not just me, it's probably the whole Arsenal fan base because we want to do well. We want to get up there. We want to be forgetting, bro, we haven't even won the Champions League, Tom. Something we spoke off air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These motherfuckers went into the Champions League. They're getting ripped apart, that team. You can't beat Newcastle.
Yeah,
It's, you know, bro, it's an absolute joke, bro. And we need to see something, and we need to see something fast. Can you see players like Jesus coming to Arsenal and that now? Can you see any big players coming without Champions League? We're in the Europa League, bro. Like Tottenham are the team that are going to progress now. Tottenham are the team that are going to go 2-3 years ahead of us because they've got the manager. They've got the manager, bro. See, in this whole situation, that's what's told because they've had a shit squad, Tottenham as well. They've got a few world-class players.
And you said it from the get-go. From as soon as Conte came in, you was cursing, saying he should be the man at Arsenal. And at the time, at certain times, Arsenal was out ahead, but you kind of never really wavered with that. And now, not only seeing where they're ending up at the end of the season, but like you said, seeing how that now connects up with my man being an experienced manager that's been there, done it at the top level, and who he can go and pull in the transfer window now. Who knows whether Kane necessarily definitely wants to go, Son definitely wants to go. Maybe they're looking at Conte and thinking, yo, this is the guy. This is the one we was meant to have been waiting for. Like, trusting him, let him build something. We could go and win a league or something. Like, they might really be feeling that because this guy's got them certified stripes. Whereas, unfortunately, for Arteta, it's not only they've not got that 4th place, but now there's a narrative that goes with that. Why didn't they get the 4th place? How inexperienced they kind of looked at the end, even just tactically and the way that they approach things systematically. You know, I heard Jamie Carragher and kind of Gary Neville breaking it down on Monday Night Football really well in terms of how he was explaining how just certain things in terms of how they were defending, how the, you know, right back seemed to have been instructed, Cedric, to kind of really like skip ahead and press on to their kind of left back in a way that just like the way that the defense was moving and reacting to that wasn't kind of beneficial for the teams you were playing against, the pace and the threat you had in behind, and that inability to adapt. You know, I know some people see that as like partly almost like the Pep school, like people in the Pep school kind of are going to be that way, like they're you know, they're going to be rigid in what they believe. But I don't think, especially if you're not, you know, the kind of top team as well, but even with City sometimes maybe it's to our detriment, you need to be able to adapt and shift them a little bit and shift the intensity and shift things up in a way where you can get through just that game. Because at the end of the day, yeah, the philosophy is what gets you in position, but what decides whether you get 4th or what decides whether you win the Champions League is usually those fine moments in certain games, you know. And I think you look at that Tottenham game. I guess this is the first time we've been back chatting since the Tottenham game as well, so we can reel back to that. You know, I said to you a bit earlier on in this season when we first started this podcast that like I feel like too much emotion, too much kind of youthful emotion that like a high is running on, that a winning streak is running on, can be this as well. Because when it gets to the tail end, like all of that emotion, all of that kind of passion, energy, just all of the stuff that you kind of associated with just Arsenal when they were flying and racking all them wins up, it's unpredictable when it comes to them moments where you need to be able to be like assured. And I guess a perfect example of that was that holding red card, like, and just getting drawn in. I think even in the podcast before the episode, I was saying like Arsenal are going to be hurt worst if they get drawn into a situation and get someone sent off. I'm sure I might have even said that.
Yeah.
And for that to actually happen, we could see that as fans. We ain't no experts, and I'm not even an Arsenal fan like that. But you could just sense that, like, one, with the kind of the thin squad, and two, with just the danger that Tottenham kind of pose going forward, and just the experience that they've got to kind of just navigate them situations and make you be the one that gets drawn out and gets sent off or gets riled up. And you know,
but it all comes down to their mentality, Tom. Though, like, see, Arsenal, we're a big club by name. You get me? But we're not in the big club equation, bro, when it comes to mentality, and that runs right from the top straight to the players. Because if these players had a strong enough mentality, which you can't fault them, because at the end of the day, like I said, bro, these men are very young. The only person to blame for having a young squad is the manager, because he's put that into place. Always remember that. You get me? But you got to have the mentality of you can't keep losing games on a bounce. Now, Arsenal don't draw, Tom. Arsenal either win or lose. And when we lose, we don't just lose one. We lose competitively. We lose 3 on a bounce. Now, I went to the AFTV studios on the Tottenham watch-along, bro. And I was saying then, even when we was losing, I was saying, the problem is with Arsenal is that we'll end up losing this game, but we'll go and lose the next 2 games as well, which is must win because it's happened twice this season. We've lost 3 games on a bounce on separate occasions. Now look at it realistically. Won't put it past me. We get done by Everton. Everton are fighting for their life, bro. You get me? They've just got beat as well. They've had a bad result. They need them wins. Them 2 games they've got left. They need, bro, because it is a mad thing for them. Now, can you really see Arsenal, like you said just before, bro? Tottenham 1-0 down at Norwich. Can you see Arsenal capitalising in that? No. Why? Because we all know it. But the problem is with fans, hope kills us. You know, hope, Tom. It kills us, fam, because that's what football fans are. We go to football based on hope. And when you do see a little bit of signs of improvement, I think, you know what, there's a possibility of us getting back into the Champions League. Your hope starts building up, bro. But you know what? It's daft for us anyway. We should come to terms and realize that, you know what, these men are always going to let us down. Unless some serious shit changes, bro, it's going to be the same old story. Like I said, this is probably the last time we're going to probably have our best opportunity to beat Newcastle away, bro, because now they've got bare money pumped into them. By the time we come next season, they're going to be even stronger. They're bringing in players like Bruno Gomes that we can't even fucking sign.
Well, this was a question I actually wanted to ask you, was honestly speaking, from this point of view right now and what you expect to happen in the summer, who do you see finishing higher next season, Arsenal or Newcastle? With Arsenal having to compete in Europe next year in the Europa, and Newcastle having the privilege that Arsenal had of, we can just focus on the league, and then them being able to go out and invest. Certain players might be looking at that Newcastle project over there with less of the ick than they've got for Arsenal, because they just can see that it's going in the right direction. Whereas with Arsenal, you can't quite tell. Is it going to go further next season? Is it going to go back and regress and be another 7th, 8th finish next season under Arteta? Like, you can't really, you don't feel confident in which way it's going to go. And no matter how good of a player you are, you don't want to get onto a boat that suddenly then the whole unit starts regressing and going in the opposite direction from where it looked like. And now you're, a talent that's kind of really pushing into your prime years and wanting to go and do stuff and win stuff. And then you're like fighting against a negative situation. Like certain players have been at United for the last few years. Like,
no, I hear that.
I think these players are aware of that stuff. So it's
going to be a big problem next season, Tom. It's going to be a big problem because this is where managers make their money. When you've got 2 games a week, and 2 games of importance, this is where man make their money. And when we was in that position, we finished 8th twice. You get me, Tom? So I hear what you're saying. Obviously, like I said, in football's it goes in swings and roundabouts. So I can't say for sure that Newcastle are going to be the best team, because to be honest, this season I thought Leicester will probably be up there. But look at them today. But if you look at history, look at Man City, bro, it works, innit? Regardless of what. You look at City, you look at Chelsea, it works. Even United at times, money comes in, it works. And as a normal human being, Tom, you tell me, if you was a neutral player and you didn't support any club from England, what looks better to you realistically? You've seen projects working. Even the likes of PSG, they might not win the Champions League, but they're winning their leagues, they're winning cups, they're winning shit. Because money talks and bullshit walks in football, Tom. And this is a big blow, bro, and it's one that is hard to take, because I honestly thought we could get over the line with 2 games to go. Even though we're bottlers, I thought we could still get over the line. Let's have a look at some of these comments in the chat.
Yeah, feed me in.
Big up Ramsey. 2's on the nail.
Yeah.
You can't be asked with this manager. We should go for Luis Enrique after the World Cup due to his style. So anyone's at the moment, like I said, is I want to go for somebody of real experience. Obviously, Enrique's got experience, but I want like a Mancini. I want someone who's won the Premier League before, someone who knows how to get over the line in this league. I'm not saying that maybe someone can't come in and do it like a Klopp and a Pep, because they have, but we need something new now. We need something where everybody could get on the bandwagon, everyone could get behind an experienced manager and push forward with it. But like I said, I'm one of them. I could be wrong in who I want. They might bring someone else in and he might blow the Arsenal up. But I just don't know where I feel to be. I don't know what I think and feel, bro. It's just a disgrace, Tom. Disgrace.
What do you think of the take that some Arsenal fans seem to have after the game, that the problem is that they've not backed Arteta enough, and that he needs more backing. He needs them to go out in the summer, show that they believe that he's their guy, put money in his pocket, have a buy-in, taking on kind of acquiring talent mentality rather than clearing out, getting rid, unless it's getting rid of dead weight. Do you agree with them people that do you think if they did give him a chance, if they are going to give him a chance, is that's the way they need to go, right? Like, if they're not going to get rid of Arteta, then the next best thing has to be, well, keep Arteta and go out and put some money into this squad and load it up, so that when Arteta's in this situation again, or if he's in this situation again, he isn't having to compromise and play players that are not fit and play players that are not good enough in big games and in key positions.
No, 100%, Tom. What you're saying is right. They're going to have to go and they're going to have to back him, because the only incentive you're going to have to come to Arsenal now is money, innit?
Yeah.
When you deep the situation, there's going to be no Champions League football. Realistically, are we going to win the FA Cup? Are we going to win the Carling Cup or Carabao Cup, should I say? Rather unlikely. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we know what Arsenal's like when we're in the Europa League and we're in the Premier League, or in the Champions League and the Premier League. It's just too big for us to deal. It's too much to handle with. But they're going to have to put the money in the pocket, to put the hand in the pocket and spend the money. They're going to have to sign players and maybe overpay them. And it's not like they can't, because they can. They give man like Aubameyang big wages, man like Ozil big wages. You can still overpay players without paying them ridiculous amounts in it. But they need to do something now.
There should be a
definitely.
punishment for not going out and doing it in the winter when they might have got a deal, when they might have been able to get away with just adding one new and getting over the line into the Champions League and then not being under so much pressure. But now they've got to go. Whatever they do, they've got to invest. If they get rid of Arteta and get a new manager, they're not going to get a top new manager unless he's told, most of these lot can go on the first day you arrive and you can build. Like, if it's not that, you think Simeone is coming over here to be managing, like, I don't even want to start calling out names, but like a lot of them guys in the defence, like it was Holding, the guy that scored that crazy own goal years ago, like from like 50 yards out or something. There's just certain players that you see certain things happen and you just think he's got that in his locker. So that could come out at any time, just all of a sudden looking like a championship defender in a key moment. Do you know what I mean? Tavares is just a wild guy. Like, I don't know that Diego Simeone is saying, I can come over and try to work with them guys. So even if they were to get rid of Arteta, they're going to have to go out and splash. But if they keep Arteta, they've seen what Arteta was capable of with this squad. And even Arteta in his after-match interview, you could tell he was kind of like trying to semi-protect. Not protect the players, but not like sound like he was blaming. But then the more he was talking, the more it was just like, there's question marks in this squad. He kind of agreed when the interviewer was asking him, like, is it too young? Do they need experience? He was kind of sounded like he was like subvertedly just speaking to the owners or whatever and saying, look, this is the best I can do with this lot. You seen them. You seen what they did. You seen the position I put them in. You seen how they bottled it. We need better players. That's what I took from how he was doing the post-match interview. Now, I don't know if that's him just trying to protect his neck. I don't know if that's how he feels. I don't know if that's him trying to get a reaction from the players. But how could you have only known that now when they bottled it? Unless he really feels like, I did a miracle job to get these men in a position where they had a chance and they've still bottled it. That might be his feeling.
But you know what, though? At the end of the day, you brought these pussy holes into the club. You get me? You're the one who spent the money and brought in. It's not like you're playing Emery's players and all that. Yeah. Do you know what it is as well? The players got to take a lot of accountability as well, Tom. Not just the manager. Because one thing, Granit Xhaka come out and said after the game and that about, if you're not feeling to it and that, stay at home and don't come. You know what I mean? That's one thing that I agree with. You get me? Like, Ras, if you're feeling nervous and you're not feeling up to that, you better speak your mind. And you're not at the right club because there's high pressure when you're playing.
Who said he was feeling nervous?
I don't know, but obviously Granit Xhaka come out Granit Xhaka come out at the end of the game doing a little interview and that, just basically killing man off and that, saying you're not even worth the Champions League and all of this and it. Like, basically,
how you feel about him speaking like that?
But this is what I was going to say. The problem is with Arsenal is man like him anyway. You get me? Because our fans feel and think that for some reason is acceptable now. Granit Xhaka being our main midfielder with Partey. Fuck that, bro. This guy's not been working for years. We need to get rid of him and get rid of certain players. Get rid of players that we're relying on, bro. To think, these guys are going to come in.
Guys. You got a lot of volatile people that you're relying on. Imagine being in a situation where, like, guys that you're relying on in key moments include Xhaka, Holding, Tavares. Like, there's a list of guys that are like, these are like, I want to say, like, Xhaka's kind of like getting into that Joey Barton kind of territory of, like, he could just do something wild in any given moment and throw you a whole game.
Do you know what it is, Tom?
Guy.
Do you know what it is,
when he plays well, but it's a liability.
Do you know what it is, See, with Xhaka, because he's after Partey our best midfielder that we've actually got at the club, it's like people are just becoming used to just that now, innit? I'm thinking, it'll have to do because we just have to accept every manager that we've come in plays Xhaka, so we're just gonna have to accept it. Fuck all of that, bro. We need to go and get some proper midfielders, because I'm telling you now, I'd rather have that Bruno Gomes in midfield than Granit Xhaka, bro. And that was a possibility. It's not even like we couldn't do that. We could have done that. But these men are fucking stupid, bro. The guy's Brazilian, just like Edu. It's a joke thing. It's a joke thing, Tom. But I just want, you know what? Like I'm going to move on from Arsenal, bro, because I'm going to end up headbutting the fucking camera, bro. It's a mad thing. Piss me off, bro. What we've done, we've actually fucked it, though. Like, absolutely fucked it to a different level. Fucked it, like, progression of where we can actually go and get some players, that would want to come and play and be in the Champions League. Them man ain't looking to come now. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Look, man, I'm saying Timo Pukki and that. You get me? It's Pukki, Timo Pukki. You get me? That's our levels. That's what man is saying. Timo
Nah.
Pukki.
Nah. It can't be Timo Pukki. That's a backstep. No
Do you know
disrespect
what I
to
mean? Man
Pukki.
like
Unless
Nevers and that
Pukki's,
ain't looking to come to us now. Fucking
you know what,
Europa League
Pukki, you might
football.
have to give him the incentive that Pukki, if you score a hat trick against Tottenham, you get the deal. If you can bag a hat trick and win that game for Norwich, you get a 1-year deal at Arsenal. If you can't do that, I'm not interested. Bro, I don't know how much I want to move on, because I feel like even though that West Ham game for City wasn't the end of the world, it's just like I feel like I can feel the end of the season unraveling a little bit. Even like, I guess partly because I've been invested in wanting Arsenal to get fourth as well. I've kind of found myself invested in wanting Everton to stay up. Like, I've got to the point in the season where there's a couple of different situations I've been watching, and I've got, you know, even like the FA Cup final, can't lie, I wanted Chelsea to win it. So when Liverpool won it, it's like you can feel sometimes the season just getting away from you. So then when I've looked, you know, when we've gone 2 down at West Ham and we're playing poorly in the first half, I'm just thinking, what is going on? Like, is it that the players have just lost their momentum? Is it that there's actually some deeper rooted issues that need to get fixed over the summer? Like, is it that certain players already know the going and, you know, kind of Premier League, yeah, they want to win the Premier League, but they've won it before and they didn't get their Champions League, and they're not sure if they'll get it wherever they go next now, and that could be a dark cloud that's hanging over certain people. Do you know what I mean? That's not me calling anyone out in particular at all. I'm just saying, I could imagine that. Do you know what I mean? If you're a player that's won the Prem multiple times, maybe, and you know you've had 2 really good opportunities to win the Champions League, and you know that your next move may or may not be to a club that's going to be competing. That
Bro,
could
these
be
man need
hard
to
to get up and get motivated.
Yo, bro, I'm telling you, these are fucking out on, man. Like, I swear to God, yeah, these man know how to stress a man out. I swear, dude.
Yeah.
Like, they actually know how to stress a man out, because, like I was saying, bro, just before off air, we was chatting in it, and I was saying, look, we've not even won the Champions League, bro. Like, these man should have some serious ambition to not only just be in the Champions League every year, but to go on and win it. Do you get me? But it doesn't look like there's the ambition there. It looks like these men just want to participate in the Champions League, gain the funds, gain all the popularity of what goes around the Champions League, and they're happy with that. Where us fans, bro, man, ain't happy with that. You get me? At the end of the day, bro, we ain't touched the sides of the Champions League for 5 years, bro. It's a disgrace. It's an actual disgrace. And I'm not saying that we have got any undivided right to fucking
be there.
But
at least to want to
realistically, bro, with one of the top 3 clubs in this country, regardless if you like it or not, bro, regardless if you like it or not, it's the truth. And there's no way we should be where we are, bro.
Slap bang in North London, like basically central London, like the biggest city in the country. A lot of money just that's around, and a lot of potential for what that club already is. Not only the history, but the location, you know, the culture there, the brand of what Arsenal represents. You know, it don't feel like there's that many components that you would need to get so right for shit to work. It's just people getting it so wrong. And on another day, we'll have to really try and break down and unpack why is it that American owners or American kind of owner groups, barring maybe some of the success that Liverpool have been having in recent times, but for me that's a Klopp thing, and we can get into this another time. But why are they generally so bad at running Premier League clubs? And is it something to do with kind of the way that the kind of American divisions are kind of set up, where there's no relegation, there's no promotion, and there's kind of a draft system. And sometimes, you know, depending on what seed you are, depending on the cycle, depending on when you got a bad kind of team, sometimes clubs kind of accept that they're on a rebuild for like generations of players, and can then ride kind of a really good draft pick or a good situation and then invest and then try and go for it and then win a Super Bowl for the first time in bare years. Like, football don't really work like that. You know what I mean? There's
a lot behind the scenes that we don't see,
that.
Tom. There's bare corruption that we, us fans, don't know about, bro. Like I was saying
100%.
to you earlier on, see, like with this Harry Kane situation, bro. Like, he's England's golden egg. You get me, bro? Now, if Harry Kane isn't representing England in the Champions League, that's not good for all sorts of money-making schemes. Does that make sense? Now, what says that these men don't have a little bias or a little favouritism and say, right, give Tottenham the extra because they've got England's golden guy up front? Do you know what I'm saying? And in football, people might think I'm chatting shit, but it's not, man. Stuff like this happens because, yo, like I'm not putting down the Arsenal defeat to the officials, because at the end of the day we've got no one to blame but ourselves. We should have went there and won that game.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, you got to keep shit fair, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's one of them golden egg, golden goose. I don't give a fuck. It's the same thing, innit? Get me wrong.
Yeah. I hear
But
you. I hear you. It's
it's
going to be a hard one to bounce back from. I mean, hopefully,
no, there's no bouncing back.
Some point when the dust settles, we can look at this current Arsenal team, even if it's without Arteta, and see some elements that could still form the potential for some success in the years in kind of coming years, if the right person's put in place and the right people are put in place around them. Like Saka is a really top player. Do you know what I mean? Martinelli looks a good player. Like, looks like it could be, like, there's a couple guys there that look like they could be like exceptional.
But they need the right manager to guide them to that place.
And in fairness to Arteta, there's been times this season where Arsenal have looked and played exceptionally. That's what is weird about him. It's not that he's a shit manager in the sense of, like, it's funny because I remember a lot of United fans when they had Ole, like, even when he was doing better than Arteta at times, some United fans that were like, nah, Ole don't really know nothing about tactics. Are you leaving Arteta shows more kind of like, certain people kind of can see when Arteta gets in them big games and puts in a performance like they did against Chelsea, or against City, like that he can get it really right, but he just seems to be able to get it wrong, and he seems to be able to lose like momentum and lose the dressing room and lose focus and lose games at like the most important moments. And like, unfortunately, we double back to it from the start. But like, what I'm learning this year, like more than ever with the disappointment of the Real Madrid game, is that like all of that other stuff is great for like putting you in position. Do you know what I mean? Putting you in the semi-final, getting you to there or thereabouts at the end of the year. But these things are won and lost on fine margins a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? Especially in seasons like this. Some seasons not. Some seasons it comes out in the wash and you're 10 points clear of, whoever's in second or whoever's in fifth with a few games to go. But this season's always been one of them ones. And in fairness, that's the only one positive takeaway I'm trying to take for City at the moment, with if we do secure the Premier League, is like, I think this has been maybe the most competitive Premier League season I've ever seen, in terms of just like a lot of teams in and around kind of second to 12th, 13th, that like on their day can perform and beat anyone, even including the top two. Do you know what I mean? Teams like Brighton that are just like some really a mid-table team, but have put in like massive, like incredibly impressive performances against the likes of City, Arsenal, whoever.
And that come down to like Graham Potter. I seen someone mention in the comments before, Graham Potter. Like, people like that don't get the recognition that they should actually get, to be fair, because this is a guy, who did he come from? Ostersund or somewhere like that, man. You get me? And then he's just coming to the Premier League, and he's schooling, man. Like, he's actually schooling, man. Like what he did to Manchester United as well, bro. It's not just that. Before that, he beat us. He beat Tottenham. You know what I mean? These are good teams. And at the end of the day, like Patrick Vieira for me, Eddie Howe, they're brilliant managers. They've come in and done an absolute great job, and they need to get some praise said about them, because Eddie Howe, what they didn't win, Newcastle didn't win a game in 14 games. The first 14 games, they didn't win one. Get me? He came in and turned that all around now. There's potential that they could finish in the top half of the table, which is pretty mad. So you got to give him credit. Look at Patrick Vieira taking on from Hodgson from years at Palace, built his philosophy and all of that. He's changed it with an instant. He's done an amazing job. Saying we've had Arteta for 3 years now. Bro, Tom, I'm telling you, I'm just so vexed. It's unreal, bro. Like, I don't even have words to
do you think
tell you how much of a joke it is.
Do you think if you did a vote amongst all Arsenal fans, or let's say all Arsenal fans that have attended at least one game this season, don't have to have been season ticket holders, but let's just say you was able to get a vote from every Arsenal fan that's made it to a game, and you asked them whether they should keep Arteta or sack him and get someone else, what do you think? Where do you think the vote comes out? Just from what you see,
they'll keep him then.
So you think a lot of the fans want to keep him as well?
They'll keep him, 100%. Because they can't see what I can see, in a sense. Like, obviously, I've always seen this. I wanted to believe in my players. I want to believe in my manager. I want us to do well. You get me? And the moment the tide's turning, bro, with 2 games to go, and it's in your hands, and you're not playing City or fucking Liverpool, bro. I understand the difficult games, but we should be beating these teams. Simple as
Yeah.
that, bro. And we've had ample opportunity to capitalize on fuck-ups by Tottenham and United around us, even slip-ups by Chelsea. But you know what, yeah? We just haven't got the minerals, Tom. We haven't got the minerals to ever get over the line. And that is just the truth. And every fan needs to understand and hear it. It's going to be a long 10 years, 15 years for us, because everyone around us is only going to improve. And the way we're moving, bro, these youth projects don't work, mate. Unless if they keep Arteta and they don't sign some experience and good squad depth in the summer, it's sad, long for us.
Regression next season, lower than 5th. Do you see a lower than 5th
I can't see how we can deal with the pressures of 2
United
games
are
a
gonna
week.
bounce back in some kind of way. Tottenham don't look like they're going anywhere. City, Liverpool, Chelsea. Then you've got Wolves, West Ham, all of these teams that are competing. Newcastle are in the picture. We still don't know how some of the other teams that haven't managed to put together that kind of a run this season might do next season. Like, if Arsenal don't really add, and like you say, that probably includes adding at the kind of managerial level, then like how are they gonna not regress back down to a 6th, 7th, 8th finish? And then that will be depressing. If you're an Arsenal fan and they get rid of Arteta at the end of next season, and you're 8th or 7th, and Saka leaves because it's like, yo, I've done my time, I did my bid, you know what I mean? Like, I've got to go try win trophies, because actually maybe Saka really evolves and becomes a top Premier League player next year. But if Arsenal can't match that, then at what point does a player like Saka have to think, yo, I can be at Arsenal my whole career, and I might be able to see from the inside, yo, this club's rotting, like, in terms of the ownership, in terms of management. I got to go and just win some trophies, you know what I mean? Like, people have kind of said that to Kane, either explicitly or inexplicitly. Ex-players said it to him, do you know what I mean? Through punditry and shit. Like, yo, at a certain point, you're going to regret if you didn't go and win some of them trophies, and you don't want him to become a reason that the really good players that you do have there that could be like people you could build a contending side around end up leaving, because that's how youth projects fail as well. You've got loads of young players, some of them are exceptional, some of them aren't as good, and then the lack of wisdom and the ones that aren't as good means that the project fails. But then when the project fails over and over again and there's no progression because you're not adding or you're not bringing wisdom in, then the ones that have got potential leave, and now you're just left with either like an aging squad of the guys that weren't any good, or you end up with more young players.
Yo, bro, you're getting sending me into depression, fam. Yo, I'm telling you now, you're these fucking pricks.
They need to hear it, though.
Bro, the pussy holes, every single one of them are pussy holes, bro. Because even when you're watching that game, bro, how are these man trying to time? How are these man trying to time waste when you're losing? You get me, bro? I'm telling you, bro.
The mentality is crazy.
These man are trying to time waste, and these are losing. You get me, bro? And it's like, where's these man's set of balls, bro? Like, Rash, you're playing for everything on this game, bro, and you're letting Newcastle knock it around like fucking Barcelona. Are you mad? Like,
Newcastle must have been in heaven. Newcastle must have watched that.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was looking for the fucking coach on the way back, bro. If I had some eggs, yo, that was getting it. I'm telling you. And if anything else was heavier in my side, that was getting it as well. Like, them man I'm telling you, they didn't deserve that ride back home, fam. You get me? They should have been on the fucking bike back home. I'm telling you, disrespect.
Absolutely disgraceful, bro. Like, to be honest with you, there's other clubs, there's other situations. I kind of wanted to touch on the Everton situation. I feel like I'm bringing juju to anyone that I come and talk about, because I feel like then they come and bottle it in the next game. So I'm just going to hope for what I'm hoping for. But you know what, bro? I think the takeaway from this week's episode is like, you gotta find a way to get through these low times as a fan, because sometimes you really be asking yourself, are the highs worth the lows? Like, for a season like this season, that's a question I ask you then. As an Arsenal fan, this season compared to last year, it was mostly just low. You know what I mean? There was not really any given moment where you were coming up to the end of the season, coming up to the points where you can actually get excited and get invested. There weren't really nothing to go for. So you're already emotionally switched off. This year, you've had high moments. You've had, mad game streaks of winning, top performances, putting yourself in position, looking like you might actually get it over the line, and then it flops. is the highs worth the lows? Like, is it worse having it how it's been this season, or
Most
would you rather
definitely
just the
not, bro,
progression?
because most definitely not, Tom, because at the end of the day, yeah, we've got one fucking game a week, bro. You get me?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's a different position than what other teams around us are in. And also,
yeah,
other teams have been fucking up along the way, Tom, which has allowed us
yeah.
to get into a position to actually challenge for fourth. So is it all down to the greatness of everything Arsenal done? No, it isn't. You
Yeah.
get me, bro? We just got to look at the real situation that's surrounding us. And United are dog shit. Leicester have fell off. Fucking West Ham fell off because they were focused on
It's true. It's true. Yeah,
Nah,
the
it's
Europa
true, bro.
Conference
We're
League.
dog shit as well. Like, I'm not even trying to cuss, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
This is just facts, bro. Tottenham ain't the
So
greatest. They've
it
just
just
got a good
opened up
manager and
for you
a
because
couple good
everyone else was
players.
flopping, and you man just
Yeah.
suddenly was like, "Yo, we
But bro,
found ourselves
that's
here in
exactly
fourth."
as it is, though, Tom. That's what exactly happened, bro. And at the end of the day, like I said, is at the start of the season, nobody expected us to be in the position that we are even in now.
No,
Realistically,
mate.
you
So
know what I mean?
you're not giving credit for that, or you're not taking that necessarily
I
as a
would have
sign of
give that credit
progress.
if he would have got over the line and got top
Yeah,
four. That I would have give
you would
credit
have
because
given
that
it.
would have
You had
shown not
to.
only a difference in
Yeah,
mentality, but it would have shown
yeah,
general progression because now it
yeah.
puts us in a position
Yeah.
to go into the Champions League and attract
Mm-hmm.
them better players. Now it's a fuck
Yeah.
up. It's a proper fuck up. And these
Arteta
players,
out. Get
yo,
him
fuck
out.
Arteta, fuck
Sack him.
everybody, bro. I'd sack the kit, man, yo,
Cronky's
sack
out.
everyone, bro.
Is it called
I'm telling you,
Cronky?
man.
Cronky
Fucking
out.
hell, bro. I can't believe what's going on. Like at the end of the day,
Get him
Tom, there's
out.
no way we should have threw it away like this. There's
Nah, it's
no
a
way we should have
disgrace.
threw it away like
It's
this
a
because
disgrace.
it's actually a joke. It's not like Tottenham or anything special as well. That's the maddest
Didn't
thing
even go
about
out
it.
fighting, bro. If in like the last minute of that game it was like 2-1 and you were hitting the post and hitting the bar and throwing the kitchen sink at it and it just didn't work, you could almost go away and say, yo, it just fucking didn't happen.
Bro, lucky we're
But
at
you know
6
when you
now.
just
Hang on.
when you just fold and it's like, oh man, there's no fight left. Like we've lost, and you know you've lost early on in the game, and now you're just having to watch you lose, and it becomes a torture.
Yo, Tom, we've
Like,
lost like
that's not
12,
good enough.
13 games this season, you know. That's like a
Well, I
third
think
of
we've
all
won.
our
I think
games, you
you've
know.
won. I think you've lost 6 of the last 13.
Yo, bro, but
You've
in
lost half of
total,
the last like the running of the
bro, we've
12,
lost a
13,
quarter of the
14
whole
game running.
fucking season, bro. We've lost like
Yeah,
a
that's
quarter
insane.
games of the whole season.
It's
That's a mad
insane.
thing. That is
That's
an absolute mad
volatile.
thing.
I used the word volatile earlier about some of the players in the squad, but fair enough. You know what? Maybe Arteta needs to hold that. Arsenal might need to hold that because that is the definition of volatile. A team that can't draw, you just win or you lose. That is reckless. That's just like a man that just comes in the ring just swinging haymakers, and it's not. That can't be progression. You can't
Do you know what it
build
is,
from
Tom?
that. It's
I don't want the
erratic.
mentality. I don't want the mentality to go in for a draw. I never want that mentality.
Yeah,
But sometimes situations in games change things, and you
yeah,
might have to fight for that draw. The problem
yeah,
is when situations change in the game with Arsenal Football Club, heads drop. There's no
yeah.
there's no experience there to grab everyone by the shirt and say, "Look, boys, this is the shit we're in now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is how we get out of it.
this is how we get out of it." There's
Yeah.
nobody there to grab anyone and do that. And the
No.
players that we have got there of experience, a man like Rob Holding and Granit Xhaka that are going to get sent off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? So it makes no sense, bro. And this is what I'm trying to say. I'm not no
It's
expert
so
at
bad.
football, bro.
Oh, no,
And
it's
if I
so
can
bad.
see this, how can man at the club not see
Yeah,
this?
yeah. It seems like
Does that
torture.
make
It seems
sense?
like United fans have bought the club low key. Colbert.
Yo, bro,
This is
they're
like
just in
real
the mud. They're in the
conspiracy.
mud just
I
like
know.
us, bro.
That's
Like,
the only
and
reason it don't
like
feel like
we
that.
might
They're in a
banter each
worse
other and
position.
that, but the bottom line of it is, bro, we're shit.
We're all flopped, and they at least can go into next season not playing in any Oh wait, will they be in the European Johnston's paint trophy?
Fuck those. They're going to be in the Europa League like us, bro. That's how mad it is. You get me? And then the problem is yeah, they'll probably end up getting further in it than us as well. Like, because they've got steps put into play. Like, with them bringing Ragnick in, for me, in certain senses, it was smart because they've got a proper lowdown now without favoritism of who's a dickhead and who's not a dickhead and who's going and who's staying. Where with Arsenal, our manager still got favourites like Granit Xhaka.
You made it serious too quick. I was ready to crack on United some more, but the moment's gone. But yeah.
Yeah, people, make sure you're getting the likes up as well, yo,
100%.
to get the stream pushed up. And if you're new, hit the
100%.
subscribe button. It's free, people. Don't be shady. Support the thing and hit the subscribe button.
And let us know what, again, I said it last week. Let us know what you want to see over the summer window. What should we be talking about? You know, what you guys want to discuss.
I'm just
where the Arsenal go
anything,
from here, man. How do we get positive again? What's the plan of action? Like, you can't, like you said, the only thing we've got as fans is hope. So at some point, when the dust settles, You got to find something around that to try and build that again. Or you got to organize and try and get this man out of the club. Find some man that
That's
go
not
down to the
gonna, bro.
stadium with you.
That's not gonna. You'll be standing there with 5 fucking man, bro. You get me in the rain and that, looking like an absolute Johnson. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, it's not even that time. Like, you know what it is, bro? Is the club from the top have to have that ambition, bro. The club from the top have to have that ambition. You look at owners of Man City and Liverpool, bro. These men are buying players before the fucking windows even open because they're on job. You get me? Look at Luis Diaz.
Look at Newcastle. But look at Newcastle. In the end, yeah, it was eventually the fans and kind of the players saying, "We've had enough. We're just gonna ruin your product." That eventually kind of made himself because it was becoming unprofitable because it became so toxic. Is there not? You know what, bro? It's a conversation for another day because we're gonna run over the time. But
just before we listen, Tom, as well. Just before
Bro.
we do go, I do want to touch on the FA Cup final because for me, I think Liverpool got away with one there.
Oh, bro.
And what is going on with Mason Mount?
I'm just going to sound like a hater, so I'm not even going to say it. But yeah, the 2 penalty shootouts, 2 cups, like they're doing their thing. They're two on their way to 4. Please, City, please, Real Madrid, don't let these man just penalty shoot out the way to a quadruple. Like,
but that shows you a winning mentality mindset. That's something we haven't got. Tom, see, when you're not playing Mo Salah, you're taking Van Dijk off and that, and you're still getting over the line and still getting the trophy. That's what fucking real teams and real managers can do, bro. And
I can't believe they missed 1 penalty. I didn't think they was even going to miss 1 penalty. And they missed 1, and even that was a rarity. These men are like robot machines when it comes to penalty shootouts. They scored 11 in the League Cup fight. It's just crazy, bro. But yeah, man, we appreciate you all. Bro, I appreciate you. Keep your head up, man. It will get better eventually. We just gotta ride out.
Yo, bro, I'll have whites, all whites by the time it gets better than that, bro. I'll have no hair with 2 white strands, you get me? I'll have fucking all white hair in my beard and that, you get me? I'm telling you, bro, the way it's panning out, it ain't looking good for Arsenal for a while, bro.
Maybe just put some YouTube videos on tonight of Henry and the Invincibles and just reminisce on the good times.
I can't even be asked for thinking about the good times anymore, bro. Like, them times are too long. My memory gone away now. You get me? All them good times are just gone. You get me? My memory. I've got memories of like City coming and taking our best players and all of that. You get me, bro? Like,
I keep trying to finish on a positive note.
Yo, bro, these I'm telling you, Tom, the pussy-os. I'm telling you, real pussy-os. But people, thank you very much for tuning in. Obviously, I haven't been able to get many like previews and post-match reactions out because of being under travel as well. It gets a little bit hard. Man ain't really that experienced. So now I know I need to invest in a battery power pack to charge my phone. You get me? So I can still do my thing. But make sure you subscribe and make sure you like people. And check Tom out on his Instagram as well, Thoughts of Bishop as well, people. Make sure you go and check him out. But big up, people. We move on to next season now because it's done and dusted in the water for Arsenal. Obviously, not for Tom. But yeah, man, big up and peace out, people.
Bless.